Good morning, students, and welcome to lesson number 2, The Thief's Story, written by Ruskin Bond. From the lesson, from the book, The Supplementary Reader, Footprints Without Feet. This story is about a 15-year-old thief who changes his name every month in order to stay ahead of the police and old employers. This time he keeps his name Hari Singh. The other person in the story is a 25-year-old writer named Anil. The story unfolds on how the thief betrays Anil by committing a theft but retracts later on. So, before I begin the lesson, I would like to introduce you to the author Ruskin Bond. Ruskin Bond is an Indian author of British descent. He lives with his adopted family in Landau, Missouri, India. The Indian Council for Child Education has recognized his role in the growth of children's literature in India. He was awarded the Sahitya Akademi Award in 1992 for Our Trees Still Grow in Dehra, his novel in English. He was awarded the Padma Shri in 1999 and the Padma Bhushan in 2014. So, children, we will read the lesson and see how the story develops. I was still a thief when I met Anil, and though only 15, I was an experienced and fairly successful hand. Anil was watching a wrestling match when I approached him. He was simple enough for my purpose. I hadn't had much luck of late, and thought I might be able to get into the young man's confidence. You look a bit of a wrestler yourself, I said. A little flattery helps in making friends. So do you, he replied, which put me off for a moment because at that time I was rather thin. Well, I said modestly, I do wrestle a bit. What's your name? Hari Singh, I lied. I took a new name every month. That kept me ahead of the police and my former employers. After this introduction, Anil talked about the well oiled wrestlers who were grunting, lifting, and throwing each other about. I didn't have much to say. Anil walked away. I followed him casually. Hello again, he said. I gave him my most appealing smile. I want to work for you, I said, but I can't pay you. So, here, children, let us have a look at the new words in this lesson. The meaning of the word lean is very thin. The next word is flattery. Flattery means excessive and insincere, praise that is not sincere. The next one, modesty. Here, modestly means in a very unassuming manner without taking anything for granted. Then, employers. Employers is a person or organization that employs people, that gives jobs to people. And then, grunting is making a very, a sound from the throat, a low, short, guttural sound. And appealing is very attractive or interesting smile. So here, this is the story written from the point of view of the thief. The thief is telling him that the story that he was still a thief, a robber, when he met Anil. And this thief was a teenager. He was just 15-year old, but he had had a lot of experience in stealing. That's why he says, I'm a fairly successful hand. And the person whom he wanted to steal and wanted to work for was a man by the name of Anil. He was not very old, he was just 25 years old. He was tall and lean, he was very thin. This man was thin, and he says that he looked very easygoing. He looked very, that means he didn't look very problematic kind of a person. And so he thought, since he is so kind and looks very simple enough that he was good enough to cheat. He hadn't had much luck. That means the thief had not made a lot of money of late. And he said that this person whom he wanted to work for was watching a wrestling match when the thief approached him. And the thief had not committed any theft lately. So he said, he wanted to compliment this man. So he commented on how he looked like a wrestler himself. He said that to win his confidence, he needed to flatter him. To this, Anil replied that even the thief looked uh, like a wrestler, which offended him as he was not well built at all. He was quite thin at that time. The thief replied that, oh, he did wrestle a little bit at times. And so Anil asked him his name, and he lied and said that his name was Hari Singh. The narrator used to change his name every month. Why did he do such a thing? In order to escape from the police and from his ex-employers, all those people who employed him but whom he had cheated. So he wanted to remain safe from them. Then they started talking about the well-oiled wrestlers whom they were watching on the screen. The narrator did not have much to say about wrestling. And then when he was leaving, the narrator again approached him and asked him that he wanted to work for him. The narrator said that he could, but he wouldn't be able to pay him for his work. Now let us read on further. I thought that over for a minute. Perhaps I had misjudged the man. I asked, can you feed me? And so the man asked him, can you cook? I can cook, I lied again. If you can cook, then maybe I can feed you. He took me over to his room over the Jamna sweet shop and told me that I could sleep on the balcony. But the meal I cooked that night must have been terrible because Anil gave it to a stray dog and told me to be off. But I just hung around smiling in my most appealing manner, and he couldn't help laughing. So then, later he patted me on the head and said, never mind, he'd teach me to cook. He also taught me to write my name and said he would teach me to write whole sentences and to add numbers. I was grateful. I knew that at once I could write like an educated man. There would be no limit to what I would achieve. It was quite pleasant working for Anil. I made the tea in the morning and then would take my time buying the day's supplies, usually making a profit of about ₹1 a day. I think he knew I made a little money this way, but he didn't seem to mind. So, children, we can see over here that this thief, picked his employer, and when the employer said that he wouldn't be able to pay him, so then, he asked him that if his employer could at least, if not pay him, then could he give him food to eat? So Anil asked him if he could cook, and he told a lie, saying that yes, yes, I can cook. And then so Anil told him that if you can cook, then I can feed you. So he took him over to the place where he lived and told him to cook a meal. But that meal that was cooked by the thief was so horrible that the man didn't eat it but gave it to a stray dog and told him to go away. But the thief just hung around, smiling in his appealing way that he couldn't help laughing. And so he patted him on the head and told him, no problem, I will teach you to cook. So, and then not only that, he also taught him to write his name, and then he taught him to write sentences and to add numbers like simple arithmetic and so on. So the Hari Singh, uh, the thief, was very grateful, and he thought in his mind that once he knew how to read and write, then there was no end to what he could achieve. It was quite pleasant working for Anil. So his regular day began like this. He made the tea in the morning, then he would take his time going and buying all the day's supplies. And while he did that, he also earned about 1 rupee a day. That means he pocketed that money and did not return it to Anil. And so in this way, he thought that Anil knew he was doing that, but he didn't seem to mind. Now let us read on further. Here, Anil is teaching Hari Singh to write. Anil made his money by fits and starts. He would borrow 1 week, lend the next. He kept worrying about his next check, but as soon as it arrived, he would go out and celebrate. It seems that he wrote for magazines. A queer way to make a living. One evening he came home with a small bundle of notes saying he had just sold a book to a publisher. At night, I saw him tuck the money under the mattress. I had been working for Anil for almost a month, and apart from cheating on the shopping, had not done anything in my line of work. I had every opportunity to do so. Anil had given me a key to the door, and I could come and go as I pleased. He was the most trusting person I had ever met, and that is why it was so difficult to rob him. It's easy to rob a greedy man because he can afford to be robbed, but it's difficult to rob a careless man. Sometimes he didn't even notice he'd been robbed, and that takes all the pleasure out of the work. Well, it's time I did some real work. I told myself, I'm out of practice, and if I don't take the money, he'll only waste it on his friends. After all, he doesn't even pay me. So, here, children, let us have a look at one of the let us have a look at one of the words. He made the money by fits and starts means, like, it was not money. He didn't make money continuously, but it would money would trickle in now and then. He would borrow 1 week and lend the next week, and he always kept worrying about when the next check would come. But the moment he got that money, he would go out and celebrate. He wrote articles for magazines, and the thief found that this was a very peculiar way to make a living. The meaning of the word queer is peculiar. But one evening, something was very different. His master Anil came home with a small bundle of notes and told him that he had just sold a book. That means he had got a lot of money, which was not like the usual thing. And where did he keep that money? He kept it under the mattress. Now, Hari Singh had been working for Anil for almost a month. And apart from cheating on the shopping, that means apart from pocketing the money while he went shopping, he had not really robbed anything from him. And it was not that he did not have any opportunity to rob Anil, but Anil had given him a key to the door so he could, come and go as he pleased, as he liked. But he was the most trusting person. That means he trusted Hari Singh a lot. And he said that was the reason why it was so difficult to rob him. In his experience, he found that it was easy to rob a greedy man. Why? Because greedy people had a lot of money and things, and so they could be robbed. But he didn't have the heart to rob Anil because he was a very careless man, also very trusting. And sometimes he didn't even notice he was robbed. And that took out all the pleasure out of his Hari Singh's hard work. And but he thought that it is high time I did some real work. He told himself that I am out of practice. That means for so long I have not robbed anyone. And if I don't take the money, then my master is only going to waste it on his friends. Anyway, he doesn't even pay me. So then, let us continue reading. Anil was asleep. A beam of moonlight stepped over the balcony and fell on the bed. I sat up on the floor considering the situation. If I took the money, I could catch the 10:30 express to Lucknow. Slipping out of the blanket, I crept up to the bed. Anil was sleeping peacefully. His face was clear and unlined. Even I had more marks on my face. though mine were mostly scars. My hand slid under the mattress searching for the notes. When I found them, I drew them out without a sound. Anil sighed in his sleep and turned on his side. Towards me, I was startled and quickly crawled out of the room. When I was on the road, I began to run. I had the notes at my waist, held there by a string of my pajamas. I slowed down to a walk and counted the notes. 600 rupees in 50s. Oh, I could live like an oil rich Arab for a week. So, here, children, as we can see here, the meaning of the word balcony is like it's a platform in a building enclosed by a wall or a balustrade on the outside of a building which has access from an upper floor window or door. Then the next word in the lesson, the next lesson is, okay, we will listen to the explanation. And as I continue, Hari had not expected this kind of a reply, and so he thought to himself he had misjudged Anil, and he thought that Anil had a lot of money. The narrator then asked him, okay, Anil was sleeping, and there was a small beam of moonlight as he stepped over the balcony and fell on the bed. So he sat on the floor and thought about his plan. He thought if he took the money, he could catch the 10:30 express to Lucknow. And slipping out there, he got out and he saw Anil sleeping very peacefully. His face was very clear and unlined because he was a very simple person. He had no tension, no worry, and uh, Hari Singh thought that even he had more marks on his face in spite of being younger than Anil. He had mostly scars, that those were marks from maybe fighting with people. Then he put his hand under the mattress, searching for the notes, and then took them. He drew them out, means he pulled them out without a sound. And Anil happened to make a slight sound in his sleep. And he also turned on his sides. So Hari Singh was very frightened and quickly he crawled out of the room. When he went onto the road, he began to run. He wanted to go quickly away from Anil. And he put the notes at his waist and he tied it with his pajama string. Then he slowed down to a walk and then finally counted the money. They were 600 rupees in 50s. He thought, wow, I can live like an oil rich Arab. That means this is a lot of money. So he felt very rich. He thought for a week or two, this is sufficient to last me. Then, when Hari Singh reached the station, he did not even stop at the ticket office. He had never bought a ticket in his life, but dashed straight to the platform. The Lucknow Express was just moving out. The train had still to pick up speed, and I should have been able to jump into one of the carriages. But I hesitated. For some reason I can't explain, and I lost the chance to get away. When the train had gone, I found myself standing alone on the deserted platform. I had no idea where to spend the night. I had no friends, believing that friends were more trouble than help, and I did not want to make anyone by curious by staying at one of the small hotels near the station. The only person I knew really well was the man I had robbed. And so, leaving the station, I walked slowly through the bazaar. In my short career as a thief, I had made a study of men's faces when they had lost their goods. The greedy man showed fear, the rich man showed anger, the poor man showed acceptance. But I knew that Anil's face, when he discovered the theft, would show only a touch of sadness, not for the loss of money, but for the loss of trust. So, here, this is a very important uh, point in the lesson when we come to some lessons in life that we learn. So when Hari Singh took the money and reached the station, he didn't stop at the ticket office because he had never bought a ticket in his whole life. And he saw that the train he wanted to board, the Lucknow Express, was just moving out at that moment. The train had to pick up speed, and at that slow speed he could have jumped inside one of the carriages, but there was some hesitation. He couldn't make up his mind whether he should board the train or not, and he couldn't explain the reason for that. So in the time that he wasted, the train picked up speed and went away. So when the train went, he found himself standing there, and he didn't have any idea where he should spend the night. He had no friends because friends were only, more troublesome than they never helped him. And so he didn't want to make anyone curious standing there uh, by staying at one of the small hotels. So what remained for him? The only person he knew really well was Anil, the man whom he had worked for almost a month. And so he left the station and walked slowly through the market. In his short career as a thief, he had made a lot of observations. He had, gained a lot of experience. He said, this is an extremely important paragraph, children. In his short career as a thief, he had made a study of men's faces. When they lost their goods, whenever they lost something that this Hari Singh robbed, the greedy man showed fear, and the rich man showed anger at being robbed. The poor man showed acceptance. That means they were resigned to their situation. They just accepted it. But he knew that when Anil realized he had robbed the money, his face would only show sadness. Not that means Anil was not concerned about the money. He knew that Anil would be concerned that he had broken his trust. Now we will continue reading. I found myself in the Maidan and sat down on a bench. That night was chilly. That means it was quite cold. It was early November, and the light drizzle added to my discomfort. That means there was slight rain. Soon it began raining quite heavily. My shirt and pajamas stuck to my skin. That means he had become so wet that his clothes clung to his body, and a cold wind blew the rain across my face. And he was feeling very cold and wet and miserable out there. Then I went back to the bazaar and sat in the shelter of the clock tower. The clock showed midnight. I felt for the notes. They were damp from the rain. Anil's money, Anil's money. In the morning, he would have probably given me 2 or 3 rupees to go to the cinema. And now I had it all. I couldn't cook his meals, run to the bazaar, or learn to write whole sentences anymore. I had forgotten about them in the excitement of the theft. Whole sentences, I knew, could one day bring me more than just a few hundred rupees. It was a simple matter to steal, and sometimes just as simple to be caught. But to be a really big man, a clever and respected man, was something else. I should go back to Anil, I told myself, if only to learn how to read and write. I hurried back to the room feeling very nervous, for it is much easier to steal something than to return it undetected. I opened the door quietly, then I stood in the doorway in clouded moonlight. Anil was still asleep. I crept to the head of the bed and my hand came up with the notes. I felt his breath on my hand. I remained still for a minute. Then my hand found the edge of the mattress and slipped under it with the notes. I awoke late next morning to find that Anil had already made the tea. He stretched out his hand towards me. There was a 50-rupee note between his fingers. My heart sank. I thought I had been discovered. So, here, children, let us listen to the explanation of the lesson. So, here, after Hari Singh, takes the money from under uh, from under Anil's pillow. He takes it and he runs to the station. There, he is unable to board the Lucknow Express, and so he walks back through the market, and then he goes and sits near clock tower. And then when he's sitting there, it starts raining, it drizzles, and then it rains heavily, and so he gets wet. And then he thinks that where can I go? Now, the only place that I can go to is back to Anil. At least, he thinks of all Anil's good qualities. He thought that if I had stayed there in the morning, maybe he would have given me some money to go to the cinema. But now I have robbed all the money. So now I will not be able to cook his meals. He missed that, friendship. He missed being there in Anil's house, working for him, cooking for him. And then he also, felt that this was the first person who had taken some interest in him and had taught him how to write whole sentences. In the excitement of, the theft, he had forgotten. He had taught him whole sentences. And he also realized that one day, if he knew how to read and write, he could steal maybe a big amount of money. But he thought all this was okay. Just as it was simple to steal, it was just as simple to be caught. But he thought in his mind, to be a really big man, a clever and respected man, was something else. It was something out of the ordinary. So he thought that instead of becoming continuing as a thief, I should learn to be like Anil. That means he had already accepted him as his mentor. He was looking up to Anil. He told himself, if only to read and write, but I should go back to Anil. And so, once he had made that decision, he did not wait. He hurried back to the room, feeling quite nervous because it was easy to steal than to be than to steal and have that undetected. So he opened the door quietly, stood there in moonlight that was the moon was covered by clouds, and so it was very cloudy. It was not clear moonlight. Anil was still sleeping. So he went to the head of the bed and, took the money in his hand and slipped them under his pillow. At that moment, he felt Anil's breath on his hand. He remained very still without moving and then put all that money under his pillow. Then Hari Singh awoke late that morning because he had been out for some time and so he was tired. And so he found that Anil had already made the morning tea. And when he looked at him, he stretched out his hand and gave him a 50 rupees note. And Hari Singh felt very, uh, he felt like his heart sinking. He thought, oh, has he discovered the robbery? But Anil did not say anything like that. He just said, I made some money yesterday. He says, now I will pay you regularly, so you don't have to worry. At that, Hari Singh's spirits rose. But when I took the note, I saw it was still wet from the night's rain. And Anil only told him, today we'll start writing sentences, he said. He knew, but neither his lips nor his eyes showed anything. I smiled at Anil in my most appealing way, and the smile came by itself without any effort. So, here, children, as we can see, that Hari Singh went to sleep, but Anil woke up. Not only that, he must have felt for the money under his pillow, and then he must have seen that the notes were wet. He must have guessed that uh, Hari Singh has stolen the money, but he came to the realization that Hari Singh didn't have the heart to leave him and that he had come back to him. And so he went and he did not wake him up. He went and made tea for himself, and then he came and gave him part of that money that he had earned. And he told him that don't worry, from now on I will pay you regularly. He must have realized that this boy has been working for me. I have been feeding him, yes, but I had not been paying him salary. He was a very fair man, he was a very just man, and so he didn't want to, rob him of what was due to him. And then when Hari Singh took that money from him, he realized that the note was still wet. And then he came to know in that moment that Anil realized what all he had done, but he did not say that. Neither did he, he didn't notice anything. He didn't see him judging him. He didn't see him angry with him for having robbed and that money and then kept it back. He had only he had accepted him as his as a person whom he had won over by his trust. Anil had trusted Hari Singh, and Hari Singh had not broken that trust. That was the most important thing. So uh, Hari Singh at the end, smiled at Anil in his most appealing way, and that smile came without effort. It was not insincere this time, it was a very sincere smile. So, here, a thief who had so many years of experience stealing, cheating people, had been won over by the trust of one single person. So that shows that even if there are people who are wrong and crooked and people who do wrong things in their life, we can win them over many times by, placing simple trust, by trusting them, by giving them, he had accepted him into his life. He had given him dignity. He had, treated him as a person. He cared about him. He taught him to write his name. He taught him to write full sentences. And he also told him that he would teach him simple arithmetic so that he would be able to do things in his life. So, this, as we can see, uh, treating a person in a very humane way, treating a person in a very kind and just manner can change a person's life. That no amount of, talking could have changed him. But here, just simple sympathy had changed him. Now, let us discuss the question answers of this lesson. What are Hari Singh's reactions to the prospect of receiving an education? Do they change over time? For example, compare, I knew that once I could write, there was no limit to what I could achieve. And whole sentences I knew could one day bring me more than just a few hundred rupees. And sometimes just as simple to be caught. But what makes him return to Anil? So, first of all, what are his reactions to the prospect of receiving an education? First of all, it was very unexpected. Hari Singh never expected that, okay, Anil gave him a job because maybe he needed somebody to cook for him. But he never expected Anil to take so much of interest, personal interest in him. He on means on his own. Nobody had forced him to teach him, but he was a kind man, and so he offered to teach. He knew that Anil was a young boy and he didn't know how to read and write, so he thought he would make, some kind of a change in his life. He would, make his life better by educating him. But according to Hari Singh, how did he look at this offer of help, of an education? He thought, oh, very good. Once I learn to read and write and learn a little bit of arithmetic, then I will, just now I'm robbing just a few rupees. But when I become educated, I can rob lots, I can steal lots more. And then he said, but in the course of being with Anil and realizing what a good man he was, that effect, that influence also came upon Hari Singh, and he realized that yes, when he was educated enough, he could steal maybe a lot more money. But to be a really good man, a man with character, that was quite something else. And so that made him return to Anil. He realized that Anil was not like any other person he had met. Then, question number two: why does not Anil hand the thief over to the police? Do you think most people would have done so? In what ways is Anil different from such employers? Yes, children, I'm sure that Anil did not hand Hari Singh over to the police, even though he knew. He had taken that money and then returned it because in the span of time that he was working for him, he got to like him. He must have felt very sad and sorry that he is just a young boy and what kind of a life does he have? He has not gone to school, he doesn't know how to read and write, and he has to work to earn a living. So he must have felt very sad and sorry for him, and so he wanted to make a difference in his life. Do you think many people would have done so? No, I do not think, because not many people think of others as much as they think about themselves. And in this way, Anil was very different from other employers. Other people would only think about what can I get out of this person? How much work can I extract from this person? They would not have thought of doing something good. Not many people think about what they can do for other people. They only think about what they can get from the people who work from them. So in this sense, Anil was a man of very good character. He was a writer, and he had very different thoughts about Hari Singh, and so any other person would not have thought in that manner, and that was the reason why Hari Singh changed from being a thief. He had like you know he had changed over that short period of time, and he thought that it is easy to steal, but to be a good person of good character, to be a big man, is something not so easy. So he wanted to be like Anil. Do you think that people like Anil and Hari Singh are found only in fiction, or are there such people in real life? Well, my idea is that people like Anil and Hari Singh are to be found not just in fiction but in everyday life. Don't we come across cases of people stealing and other people beating them, punishing them, giving them over to the police, like in a very self-righteous manner, thinking that, oh, these people are very bad, how dare they steal from us, and things like that. So there are people like this in everyday life, not just in stories. Do you think it is a significant detail in the story that Anil is a struggling writer? Does this explain his behavior in any way? Yes, it is significant that Anil is a struggling writer. So, when a person is a struggling writer, that means they are not established in any way, they don't have a name or fame or a big reputation. That means that he is still in the process of building his career, and because he is not sure about his expected income, so he too, the Anil too, has been through difficult times, maybe when he had no money. There were times maybe when he had no food to eat. And so when he meets Hari Singh, a teenage boy who has to work for a living, he understands that this boy also must have been through many hardships in life. And that is the reason why he has never gone to school. He has never got a chance to play, to do normal things like an ordinary child, and that is why he understands Hari Singh. Have you met anyone like Hari Singh? Can you think and imagine the circumstances that turn a 15-year-old boy into a thief? Yes, we see many people like Hari Singh around us in society. If you go to the market, or go to the railway station, you'll see so many children begging around, asking you for money, and trying to walk along with you, asking for some food or asking for something that you could give them. And I think I could well imagine the circumstances that turned a 15-year-old boy. Maybe it was extreme poverty. Maybe his, parents could not afford to feed him. Maybe they sent him out to work as a little child, and he had to, feed himself. Maybe we do not know the exact thing, but we could just imagine that there must have been tough times, and that's the reason why he had taken to stealing, because nobody would like to steal as a first choice, right? You and I, if given an option, would we want to steal? No, that would be far from our mind. So there must have been some, some kind of serious consequences, circumstances, because of which the young boy turned into a thief. And where is the story set? So this story is set in Lucknow because we get clues from the names of the persons and the places mentioned in it. The Lucknow Express. So it must have been somewhere in UP. And which language or languages are spoken in these places? Hindi is spoken in these places. Maybe Urdu also is spoken there. And do you think the characters in the story spoke to each other in English? No, they might not have spoken in English. They must have spoken in Hindi or in any other local language. It is possible. Then, the other books that are suggested for you to read are He Said It with Arsenic by also by the same author Ruskin Bond. So arsenic is a poison. So if you get a chance, then you must read these books. Wonka by Anton Chekhov and A Scandal in Bohemia by Arthur Conan Doyle. Reading opens up your mind to, like, new experiences, new people, and new things. And your mind is never the same. It's like once your mind is like elastic. It's like, once it is, what do you say? Once your mind opens up to different things, then your viewpoint of, like, the way you look at life also changes. So here in this was a wonderful story. I hope that you listen to the video from beginning to end, children. Go through the lesson and also write down the question answers. Thank you and have a nice day.